Hello and welcome back to another video. So I have eventually got through Backlog Playlist 2. So as the name suggests, the second playlist in this series. So another selection of random games, as you can see here, completed. If you haven't watched the original video where I randomly select them and go through playlist 1, then I suggest you do that. I'll put a link up in the top right. It gives you a bit of a better idea of what's going on and where we've kind of come from. But another successful playlist. It's doing the plan that I wanted of getting me to play through my backlog. As you can see here, so this is Backlog Playlist 2. These are the games I played through. These were the 4 random selections that I did in the last video. So Nobody Saves the World, Portal 2, Spider-Man and Metroid Other M. And then I added in Drawing Hogwarts Legacy, because that was a game I was definitely going to play on release. And a surprise release I didn't even know was coming, Forza Horizon 5, the Rally Adventure DLC. I'm a massive Forza fan, so when I saw that had released on the store, I dropped everything and started playing that. It only took me 8 hours, so it wasn't too long, and I put out a quick video on that as well. I wasn't planning on it, but I had everything set up to capture, so I just recorded the first bit of gameplay and then thought I may as well put out a video about it. And then also during this time, again, another video on the channel that I'll put a link to as well, lots of links going up now. I blocked out a full week where I did a Backlog Blast challenge, which was playing 3 games that were on my backlog that I had started but not finished, and played only those 3 games for a week to see kind of how much further in them I could get, how many achievements I could get, that kind of thing. So I played Maneater, which is the one where you play as a different shark. You play as a shark basically. I played Valiant Hearts, which is a little indie game set in World War One. Quite a fun little game, but also quite depressing at times as well, as you can imagine playing through World War One. And the other one was Titanfall 2. So just going back into that and clearing up some story-related achievements that I hadn't got. So that was really good fun actually. The video didn't do great in terms of views, but the people that did watch it seemed to like it, so thank you for that. And I think it's definitely something that I will do in the future. So the intention with this going in playlist 2 was to have less games than playlist 1, so it took less time and I could get through more playlists in a year. But as you can see, because I added loads of other stuff in, it ended up taking about the same amount of hours. So 7 hours less is still less. And that, I mean, the hours aren't included. Backlog Blast Challenge hours aren't included in that, but that's why it took, you could take a week off that with the Backlog Blast Challenge. But yeah, with Forza Horizon DLC coming in, it put it up quite close. So I will go through the games in a bit more detail in a minute, like mini reviews. But just to say that my plans going forwards, I'm not going to jump straight into playlist 3. I think so this is kind of, 4 months, but it's 8 months now of having kind of regimented, quite fun, like randomly picked, but regimented games, like after I play this game, I have to play this game, then I have to play this game. And it's done a brilliant job of getting through my backlog. Like, how many games have I actually got through here? So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. I mean, Hogwarts Legacy new games are not really on the backlog. Let's say 12 games off the backlog, which is really good, and it's better than I have been doing. So, and I've finished most of these games as well, which is something I wasn't really doing before. I would obviously finish games, but a lot I wouldn't. So it's been doing an incredible job, but right now I just want to take, I don't know how long really, but I'm going to take a bit of time to just select my games again non-randomly, because there's a lot of games on Game Pass I want to play. Like at the moment I'm playing through Hi-Fi Rush, which is something like an Xbox exclusive that was just dropped out of nowhere, shadow dropped. It's got really good reviews, so I'm playing through that. I'm about 4 hours in, and yeah, I have to agree with all of the reviews. It's really good. Really enjoying my time with it. But I'm just going to take a bit of time to go back to regular game picking, just picking games as I go, and doing some videos that are, which this doesn't allow me to do so much, like groupings of games. So it won't be till October, but I'm going to do a horror video, so I'm going to play through Resident Evil 4, Dead Space, maybe Silent Hill 2 if I have the time, but do like a video on a group of games, which when I'm doing the backlog selector, it doesn't give me time to do that. And I'll do other videos before that, before October, on different genres like racing or a series, for example, and work my way through that way. And then when I'm feeling the urge again, I'll jump back in and do another playlist video, and I'll do the same again, random picks for that. So let's just go up. So this is the random game selection. So we're not getting rid of this. This will come back at a later time. This is the games that I just played through, so we can delete them now. So I'm not going to do a random game selection now, but what I am going to do is, for those of you watching now, I'm going to do a viewer's choice. So for me, it will still be a random selection. So anyone watching, if you put a comment in below and just say just the name of the game, put some more words if you want to. But any of these games that you can see here, so we've got from kind of the modern consoles through to indie, through to Xbox 360, through to the older Wii's, PlayStation 2's, original Xbox, that type of thing. If there's any game in this list that you would like to see me play and do a review of, just put it in a comment below and I will play it and do a review of it. I don't get too many views at the moment. It's not exactly a big channel, so I have the intention of just playing kind of anyone that comments playing the game. But obviously if somehow this video does take off and I get like 10, 20, 30 games, I'm not going to be able to play through them all. But I imagine there's going to be 1, 2 or 3 kind of thing. So just put one game each, please, and I will, within the near future, play through them and do a review of them. And I think that's quite a fun way as well, because these are all games that I want to play. I want to get through my backlog, and that's kind of a bit of a twist on it, that you get to select. So I'm producing content as well for what you guys want, which is obviously an important thing as well. So only select from here, because these are ones that I've put up that I'm keen to play sooner rather than later. But just to let you in on how extensive my backlog is, I'll scroll down, and this is, so those games listed above aren't even in this list, these are extras. So this is just to give you an idea of how extensive the backlog is. So modern, not too bad, I kind of stay on top of that a bit. So the darker green is games that I own physically, lighter green is games that I own digitally, and yellow is games on on Game Pass. So you could argue whether they're actually backlog or not, but they're games that I do want to play, and a lot of them will go off Game Pass eventually. So it's modern, indie, and then this is where we get kind of quite extensive. So the Xbox 360, I have a huge backlog on, and then as you can see on this side as well, so the older consoles, Wii not too bad, original Xbox not too bad, but PlayStation 2, I have quite a big backlog as well. So this is what I'm facing, and this isn't even all the games I own, this is just games that I want to play at some point. I've got quite a few games that I've picked up because they looked interesting, and unless I get through all of these games, I will probably never play. So yeah, that's just to give you a little insight into the total backlog. So going back to the games that I have played during this particular playlist, so that's here, playlist 2. Like I say, I'll put links below to the videos for playlist 1 over here, and the video that was going through when I finished playlist 1 and leading into playlist 2, the picks for playlist 2, if anyone is interested. But yeah, so during this time I played all these games. I've also, so one of the reasons it's taken me just shy of 4 months, which is quite a long time for 90 hours of gaming, is because I've been playing other games as well, so multiplayer games. So I've got really back into Halo Infinite recently, multiplayer, playing at least one night a week with a group of us, getting quite into the ranked gameplay, which we have been on and off, but they released new maps kind of fairly recently. It may have been a few months ago, but I hadn't noticed them. And we've jumped back on, re-ranked for the new season, and we're just playing quite regularly. So I put quite a few hours into that, probably more than I have in any of these games actually. And I am ranked Platinum 3 for anyone that's interested. Trying to move up to whatever's after Platinum, Diamond maybe, but it is, I got up to Platinum 4 and then gone back down to Platinum 3. I think I've found my kind of skill shelf at the moment, so it's trying to break through that and get a good run of games to get up to diamond. But anyway, back to these games. So we started with Nobody Saves the World. So this was a really nice surprise. So I added this quite late to the backlog. It was from videos that I saw kind of from other YouTubers doing their top games of 2022. And this was on a few of them, and I thought it looked quite interesting, and it was on Game Pass. So I added it into the backlog, and it randomly got selected, so it got played quite quickly. And this is a great little, there'll be gameplay and things I'll put up, but a great little indie game where you have a huge range of characters you can play as. It's kind of like, not roguelike, it's all designed, but it's kind of like top-down action roleplay type game. And you can select all of these different characters, and all of the different characters have their own abilities, and the good thing about it is they have one or two abilities that are locked to them, but then you unlock other abilities with them, and all of these abilities are interchangeable between the different characters. So there's almost unlimited scope for different builds you can make, because each one has their base ability that can't be changed, but you can take abilities from other characters and add them and build on top of that to create some really unique and interesting builds. So that was really good fun. The gameplay was really fun. I really enjoyed my time with that. As you can see, 8 out of 10, and quite a long kind of time played for an indie game, really. So that was at the start of the journey, so it started really really strongly. Next up, it got even better. So on the Xbox 360, I jumped into Portal 2. So this is a game that's been on my backlog for years and years and years now. So I played Portal 1 with the orange box on the Xbox 360. Really enjoyed that. It made it onto my top Xbox 360 games video. And I have been meaning to play Portal 2, well, pretty much ever since Portal 2 came out, and just not got around to it. So yeah, this was the chance. Really enjoyed it. For those that don't know what Portal is, it's a kind of a 3D first-person puzzle game where you have a portal gun and you can shoot it at walls and objects to create a portal. There's an orange portal and a blue portal, and they connect. So if you had a blue portal in the wall here and an orange portal in the wall here, you walked through the blue, you'd come out of the orange, kind of thing. And that's the basic mechanic, and they use that through the entire game to create really unique and interesting puzzles through, like, with momentum, like jumping down into one on the floor, it launches you through the other one, and you play through the whole game using these mechanics. And it's also got a really interesting and hilarious story running all the way through it with some incredibly good voice acting. Stephen Merchant is one of the voice actors. He was on kind of like the Ricky Gervais podcast, and loads of other things as well, but that's kind of the main place that I recognise him from. But yeah, the story running through it is a lot better than I would expect from a puzzle game. It continues from Portal 1, which had quite a good story, but I think they expand on it and go even further with it on Portal 2. And it's just kind of an adventure the whole way. It's not just a puzzle game. So if there's any people out there that aren't really too keen on puzzle games, but they like kind of narrative-driven adventure games, I'd say this is probably one you still want to play. And it's got those puzzle elements, and it is at its core a puzzle game, but it's got so much other stuff to offer, you'll probably still enjoy it. Next up after that, we did have Hogwarts Legacy, so this is down here. So I bought this on release. I was really looking forward to this game. It didn't disappoint. Really, I mean, the world they've created is unbelievable. It really feels like you're at Hogwarts. They've really captured what I think of the atmosphere and the kind of feel of Hogwarts and the surrounding area, and I know it's not Harry Potter in this game, but the Harry Potter universe. And yeah, I spent the first few hours just in awe, just walking around Hogwarts. The detail they've got in there, the amount of conversations that are going on, because it's Hogwarts, like the paintings move, there's people and there's statues and things that are moving as you're walking around. There's just something going on everywhere. The attention to detail is incredible. They must have spent ages just building Hogwarts, and it really shows. And on the whole, I really enjoyed this game as well. I think the combat is really well done. I was a bit worried going into it that the combat might not be great because you're just using a wand. I was like, how can they do that much with a wand? But they've nailed that. It's not too difficult, but you cast different spells and you've got loads of different spells you can use in combos that you can create. So that's really solid and really good. The story, it has a big trough in the middle, I would say, but once you get back out of that, the first act is really strong. The last act, I'd say, is pretty strong. You've got a bit of a trough in the middle, but once you get through that and carry on, I think it's a satisfying conclusion and well worth playing through. All in all, a pretty good game. I've got reviews for all of these out, so you can check any of them out if you want further thoughts on my channel. There's a few downsides that I thought they could improve on, like the social aspect of it. I mean, you go into Hogwarts, so I'd expect you to be able to build deeper relationships with the students and things, and have consequences leading through it. So you could annoy people or fall out of people, or romance options and things like that. But there's not really any of that at all through the entire game. And I knew it going in. The developers had already said it wasn't going to be there. But Quidditch, come on. That Quidditch should be in the game, and I could see that as being a really cool DLC drop at some point. If they added a DLC drop where there was some more story missions, but also as part of that drop was Quidditch, I mean, that's going to bring so many people in. Or maybe they'll just bring it in the second game, because there's clearly going to be a second game with how successful this one is. Next up, we had Spider-Man on the PlayStation 4, so the first one of the newer ones on the PlayStation 4, the one before Miles Morales. So this one, on the whole, solid game. I can see why it's reviewed so highly, but it's a controversial opinion. I did find it quite underwhelming. The feeling of being Spider-Man, they have absolutely nailed. So web slinging, flying through the streets, the combat in terms of like the animations and how it feels to kick people and tie them up with webbing and all of that kind of stuff, they've nailed it. I don't think there's any better game, and maybe never will be, or can't be topped for making you feel like Spider-Man in terms of your movement. The only thing, my main downsides were repetitive enemies. I didn't think the boss battles were very creative. The story is fine, it's good, but it's just what you'd expect. It's kind of a cookie cutter Marvel universe story. There was nothing that kind of really blew me away or surprised me. It did go a bit darker than I expected at points, which I kind of appreciated, but nothing to write home about. And I found kind of some of the mission design and stuff a little bit repetitive as well. But the thing that made me kind of, there's no point where I kind of wanted to stop playing, just because playing as Spider-Man felt so good, and the movement around the city and the combat and everything was really good. But again, review up on my channel if you want to kind of hear more of my thoughts or kind of berate me in the comments. It's my video that's got the most dislikes, so obviously it's wound some people up the wrong way, so apologies to the Spider-Man fans out there. We can't all have the same opinions on games. That's kind of why I think it's fun to have reviews and have conversations about games. But anyway, yeah, on to the next one. They're a bit out of order here, but the next game that I played was Forza Horizon 5 Rally Adventure. So this wasn't in the backlog. Again, it's a brand new game. I didn't even know it's coming out. Very quickly on this, because it's not actually part of the backlog playlist. Great DLC. It's Rally DLC, so it's not as out there as kind of like the Hot Wheels DLC, where it's completely different from the base game. The new map is very similar to the base map, but they've really nailed down into that kind of rally like aesthetic feeling, like really gone down the route of kind of pure rally. So you've got a navigator. It encourages you to turn off kind of the braking lines and steering lines, so you haven't got clues on that, and to actually listen to the navigator, where the navigator, you'll have prompts at the top of the screen like images. There'll also be a navigator saying, right, kind of light right turn up ahead, sharp right turn up ahead, U-turn up ahead, kind of that thing, so you kind of know what's coming. And I enjoyed my time with it. So you can do races, but you're encouraged to do the rally formats, so it's like it would be in real life, where you're not racing like side by side, you're doing basically time trials and you're competing with other racers in that way. So I would say I'd recommend it to anyone that doesn't mind playing games that are a bit more sim than Forza Horizon, because I think it's for that audience, whereas Hot Wheels is for the people that probably really, really like the arcade games and don't really venture into the sim. If you're one of those people that Forza Horizon 5 is already maybe a little bit too sim for you, then I probably wouldn't recommend it. And finally, we came on to Metroid Other M on the Nintendo Wii. So I haven't got a very good record with the 6th, 7th gen category so far in these playlists. So I've DNF'd this one, and then in the last one I DNF'd KOTOR, and both times it was for the gameplay. KOTOR in the first one, if you didn't watch the video, was because I couldn't really get on with the CRPG elements. I prefer real-time action. I didn't like having to like click what I wanted to do and then wait for it to be carried out. And I just finished playing Fallout New Vegas, so it was a bit of I kind of just wanted to go back to Fallout New Vegas, really. And Metroid Other M was enjoying my time with and was trying to continue, but there was just one major gameplay flaw, which was you have to, again, review out if you want to see it, but so you know that the Wii remote, you had to, most of the time you're playing with it on its side, normally, as you'd expect, then sometimes you had to point it at the screen to go into first person mode to fire your rockets, and this would be, you'd have to do this constantly in boss battles or kind of sub bosses, and it's just so finicky and takes so long that I'd be doing it. I couldn't get the controller to line up with the sensor to actually go into first person, and when I did get into first person eventually, I'd normally get shot or hit before I could fire the rocket at what I was looking at. Once I was finally on the screen, it would take a while to actually lock on, and it just completely threw me. Every time I had to do it, it took me out of the moment. It wasn't flowing, it wasn't a fun gameplay experience. And I say I put about 4 hours into it, which is only a 10-hour game, so I saw a reasonable chunk of the game, and I was just like, no, it's not worth my time. I've got so many other games to play. I've kind of got a feeling for what this game is about. It's got some good points, but I'm not going to battle against this controller scheme. So I retired it, and I've moved on. And I've, like I said earlier, I've started playing Hi-Fi Rush on through Game Pass on the Xbox, and that is a stunning adventure, like music rhythm adventure game, which I will put some put a review out for shortly. So yeah, that's a bit of a wrap up of where we are on that playlist. So as I say, I'm not going to start playlist 3 straight away. I will do more than likely in a few months. As I said earlier, comment below if anyone wants me to play any of these games. Just put a comment in below of which game you want me to play, and I will get round to playing it in the next few weeks, months, kind of thing, depending on what I'm playing and how many comments come up. So I'm still going to be playing games from this backlog playlist. So obviously I'm on Hi-Fi Rush at the moment, and I'll probably still go through in the kind of order. Maybe it depends. There's a couple of games I want to play on Game Pass that have dropped recently, but I think just as a rough idea, this may well change. But I'm playing Hi-Fi Rush now. I really want to play Metal Hellsinger, but that's another kind of music rhythm game, so straight after Hi-Fi Rush might not be a good idea. So I'll probably jump onto Trek to Yomi or Proteus, which is kind of like a Doom style shooter game. I really want to play Fear, so I'll almost certainly jump onto Fear on the 360, and I'm not quite sure yet on the 6th, 7th gen, but Fear will certainly be coming soon. That's a game I'm definitely going to be playing soon. And as I say, there's going to be some different style videos coming up. The whole point of this channel is A, for me to get through my backlog, and just for me to have an outlet to just have a bit of fun with. So I'm still finding what videos work, what formats are enjoyable for me to play and to create. So I'm just going to experiment with a few different videos. And I've also got a top 10, I always do top 15 video coming out of my top racing games on the Xbox consoles. So mainly Xbox One, but playable on Xbox. Top racing games playable on Xbox. So there's some 360 games on there that are playable through backwards compatibility. So that will be coming out in the next couple of weeks as well. So no playlist 3 right now, but there will be soon. Comment below what games you want me to play, and I will play them. So thank you for watching. I hope you're all managing to chip away at your backlog as well. Let me know how that's going, if you've got any systems of your own that you're working on that you think I should give a go. if you are enjoying the videos, if you've enjoyed this one, please consider subscribing and dropping a like. It does help out quite a lot. And yeah, thank you for watching. Now, on to the next one.